What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Gooner channel. It's finished Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. And I said in the video yesterday, this isn't necessarily or wasn't necessarily a must-win game, but definitely if we'd lost it, you would have had to concede that the league looked completely unwinnable. And so for us to get the 3 points, but not just get the 3 points, beat Liverpool in the way that we did, well, it's exactly what you would have hoped for. Sunday it is exactly what we could have dreamed of. Yesterday, I was really surprised at the level of anxiety that was going around the fan base and the conviction that Liverpool were going to be too strong for us. When I analysed the first teams, I really didn't see that much in it, and I thought home advantage was going to be a huge factor. The bookies had made us favourites, and let's face it, they're not often enough wrong. So I was surprised at the anxiety. Now, normally going into a match like this, I would be a lot more worried. I was eerily calm. I didn't really feel as worried about it. Maybe it's because in my heart I've kind of conceded we're probably not going to win the league, and so there isn't the same level of pressure. But with that being said, I did really think we were going to win this. I predicted 2-1, so Trossard totally ruined my score prediction in the best possible way. The lineup I predicted, I thought he would stay with Emil Smith-Rowe. Of course, we know who's going to play across the back four. On that, Zinchenko coming off at half-time is an injury, and it does make you worry. We have some time now before the West Ham game. Hopefully, that's going to be enough for him to get fit. I thought Jakub Kiwior looked pretty good when he came on, but he's not quite Zinchenko. And for all of his detractors, Zinchenko's involvement in the first goal shows exactly what he's there for, and it was to win that midfield battle. Analysing the game beforehand, I thought it was going to be a very tight game in midfield, and Liverpool just didn't turn up. We completely dominated them in the first 45 minutes. It should have been a goal up in the first 13 minutes when Martinelli blitzes past Konate to put one on Saka's head, and it's not a strength of his game, but you would have expected him to at least hit the target. And having seen that not go in, we could imagine that there was a little bit more worry around it, but I wasn't worried at any point, if I'm honest. When we did get the goal, it was a fantastic move, Zinchenko to Odegaard. Odegaard's first time pass through to Kai Havertz. And look, in the lineup, I predicted it was Jesus starting. So finding out early this morning, thanks to someone on TikTok, that Jesus was out with an injury, couldn't even make the bench, was really about as worried as I got in this game. And I didn't think Kai Havertz was necessarily the guy to play up front, although he's probably played better in that position for us than anywhere else consistently. So I wasn't massively worried. Watching him run on against Alisson, you just wanted him to slot it home. Of course he didn't. He hits Alisson in the chest, and Saka is there for what is a very easy finish after his first miss to redeem himself. I was surprised as much by Jurgen Klopps' lineup as I was by the fact that he brought Jorginho in. But I have to hand it to Arteta. My worry was that Jorginho would be a little bit off the pace. And actually, the great thing about Jorginho is that he does slow the game down. He didn't put a foot wrong today. He was an excellent midfield addition and well and truly justified his selection. I thought that Liverpool was second to everything. As I've already said, Konate was not handling Martinelli particularly well. I saw somebody yesterday talking about how the left side of our team is in a shambles at the moment. So how exciting it is, in fact, that two of our goals came from the left. Almost three, actually. But Liverpool bringing in Gravenberch, who's a player I rate really highly, but he's obviously not Szoboszlai, who's been a really good addition for them. I thought their midfield were totally outplayed by us. Didn't see their high pressing that I was expecting from them. They seemed to want to sit off us a little bit too much. And even when we went in at 1-1, and even Jurgen Klopp talked about this, it was 1-1 despite the fact that Liverpool hadn't actually had a shot on target. Don't know if you want to blame David Raya for not coming out and getting the ball off Saliba, or for Saliba just trying to shield the ball from Diaz, who's tricky as you like, and managed to get a foot to it. If it hadn't gone in off Gabriel's hand, it would have been a penalty anyway. So, bit gutted, but in the Facebook group at halftime, I put the comment, I still believe. I felt like this was a game where people wanted us to play badly. I felt like this was, as I've said all along, I felt this was a really winnable game. We didn't seem to continue in the second half from where we'd left off in the first half, and it was easy to think that maybe conceding in the way that we did had taken the wind out of our sails. But we soon established ourselves again. It almost seemed fitting that despite the fact, and where Liverpool had, so the second half Liverpool had pressure, exerted it, and then they gave away a goal every bit as calamitous and silly as the one we did. I really respect Van Dijk in a post-match interview for fully taking the blame for it. And a lot of people have been saying it was him to blame. You know, for me, the way that Alisson runs out and misses the ball and the players, everything, you have to look at that and wonder, what on earth was he thinking? Of course, Martinelli finds the ball at his feet and it's the easiest goal he's going to score. Puts us 2-1 up. And from that point, I wasn't particularly worried. When Konate gets sent off, I honestly didn't really like that sending off. I thought that Kai Havertz made a meal of it, and I get it. It's a bit of gamesmanship, but I didn't like it, and it just added to my frustration with Kai Havertz today. On the subject of which, you think if Eddie Nketiah is not getting a start here, are we ever going to see him start another match? Hopefully the injury to Jesus is only a minor one. But the really exciting moment, of course, was when Trossard blazes in from the left-hand side and puts one between Alisson's legs. Of course, it got a little nick off Van Dijk on the way in, but it was still a nutmeg. It was still a brilliant moment. And they didn't have any answer for us. I think on our day, our first 11, as I've already said, is as good as anybody's. Our bench, though, looking a little bit weak. He did make changes today, of course. Trossard came on and scored. Nelson came on for Saka, didn't really show anything. But the key thing that I think Arteta got right today was playing Jorginho. Declan Rice in his interview talking about how Jorginho, having played against them, he's one of those players that is so excellent at controlling the tempo of the game. And I thought that our first time passes were good. There was plenty of space to run into. And I thought Martinelli was a breath of fresh air in this game. What does this mean for us going forward? We are back in the title race. There's no question around that. We might well see 3 teams battling out all the way. There's only 15 games left. It's mad to think how quick this season's gone. I know that the game against West Ham is going to be another game of pressure. There will be no let-up this season if we are to go all the way, or at least compete all the way. Games like West Ham, where you go there and think, well, we should win this. We saw what happened last season. So for the elements of our fan base over the last week who've been so confident that we played badly or not do well against Liverpool, who were convinced that it was going to be a drubbing on some level, I think some of them are going to be really disappointed how badly they go wrong. Hopefully we can all come together tonight and celebrate the fact that we had a resounding victory over the league leaders. I'm a little bit concerned, as I have been since the close of the summer transfer window, at how little cover we have in defence. But Tomiyasu's coming back from the Asian Cup eventually. So that gives us a bit more cover. Who knows? Timber might be back. Partey's injury might not be that long. Some of the players still look a bit tired. It's always difficult when you see Bukayo Saka go off, particularly if Nelson comes on and doesn't do that well. I'm going to give my man of the match award to Mikel Arteta, though, because he made some really key decisions today and got it right. And he got that team fired up. And I think for the halftime talk that he apparently gave, which was calming and just reminded them that we dominated and didn't want to think about the fact that they'd scored when they did. Hugely impressive. This is a rookie manager going up against one of the best managers in the league. Jurgen Klopps' last dance at the Emirates. Who knows if he'll come back as Liverpool manager one day. But if you believe him and he's not going to manage another team in England, then this might be the last time the Emirates sees him. And he's had a fantastic record there. I thought his post-match interview was really good and measured as well when he talked about, look, sometimes it just doesn't happen. Liverpool are a team I hugely respect. I hugely respect their fan base. It's always great to beat them. It's never easy to beat them. We've done it tonight. Doesn't mean we're champions. Doesn't mean we don't have problems. But it does mean that we can look again at some of the people who are ready to tell us how bad we are and say, we're not nearly as bad as people think we are. Our first 11 can compete with anyone. It's just how likely we are to keep that first 11 together. I'm thrilled that there's only 2 points between us and Liverpool. I expect Liverpool to come back strong. I expect Manchester City to win tomorrow. It's what winning champions. This is what winning Premier Leagues is like. It's never easy. There is going to be some nerves. But for this game, like I said in the video I did yesterday, strange and eerily calm all the way through. And at the end, it was kind of what I expected. I didn't expect Liverpool to play as badly as they did, but I think you have to give credit to the quick movement and the control we had in the midfield. And I'm going to forgive Saliba and Raya their mix-up in that goal. That what Lee Gunner calls a bozo moment. It certainly wasn't great, but we don't concede many. Now we have the joint best defence in the Premier League, and I can see us being very difficult to score against in the coming weeks, although I hope I haven't jinxed it. Let me know in the comments who your man of the match is. Broadly speaking, most people have agreed that it's actually Jorginho. I thought Martinelli was excellent, and Trossard, although he wasn't on for long, definitely in with a shout. But overall, it's 3 points, 3 goals, clinical finishing, maybe not, but a fantastic way to end the weekend, which has been one full of great football. So let me know in the comments what you thought, what your takeaways were from the game, and how you feel about our title charge now, if it's back on or not. And until I speak to you tomorrow, be lucky. Lots of love.